Message from Sunnahfollowers. This is from Sheikh Saleh. We need to unite. Sisters, wear your hijab. Wear your beards. Be proud of your beards. Stay home, stay home, stay in your home. Stand up, unite, and stand for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
That's right, Saleh. We all should stand up in solidarity, not transgressing the limits of the law, but stand.
برضه لسه ما عملتهاش عشان سبيس ستاف. الرسول اشوفها من يوم ثيرزداي لكن امها اوكي you are ready sisters? Are you ready?
Wait, hold on.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, you can start whenever you like.
All right. Okay. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. الحمد لله جزاكم الله خير brother and sister Sunnahfollowers. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And everybody watch us alhamdulillah online. Actually I discussed with the brother Mohammed a few days ago, and the topic gonna be this time. And alhamdulillah today 10th of Shawwal, and Ramadan, that's 10 days ago Ramadan left. But what really, brother Mohammed, I will discuss it, what exactly everybody in Ramadan, it changed every human being.
Yeah.
Everybody fasts.
Everybody's fasting.
Even non-Muslims watching
Yeah.
Ramadan, and changing a lot of things.
Yeah.
But the key, some people, and for example, when I go to Salat al-Fajr in Ramadan, Salat al-Fajr, before I enter, the masjid full.
Yeah, mashallah. Especially the last 10 days.
Oh,
Yeah.
10 days a different story.
It's a different story.
But the key, brother Muhammad, this today, I went to the Fajr, the one opened the masjid, and the one making adhan, and the third person. Yesterday, two people. And when the salah finished, not even one line. Before that, the masjid full, Salat al-Fajr. And my point that I discussed this, some people worship Allah only in Ramadan, and after Ramadan, I don't know what they worship.
It's gone. It's gone. The feeling is gone. The feeling of Ramadan, the feeling of
the mean that change only 1 month.
What we see at the beginning of Ramadan, where everybody's excited, and so the first 5 days, 6 days, everybody's excited, everybody's ready to go, everybody wants to pray, everybody wants to fast, everybody wants to, give charity and do. And then you start to see after the 7th, 8th day, they start to kind of slow down. The masjid starts to get emptied a little bit. You still have, mashallah, a lot of people, more than normal, but it starts to lessen up. And then the last 10 days, mashallah, everybody.
So there's a question actually for whoever watch us here in social media. Think with me. In Ramadan, change the body, change mentality,
The soul.
change the soul.
The soul inside.
The soul.
The soul.
What about you, brother and sister? What did Ramadan change with you?
And what stayed?
Hmm?
Right? What stayed during Ramadan? Because like we said, people come and people go. The excitement, the hyperness, the fun of it. We decorate our houses. Families are coming over. We're eating. We're talking. I think one of the things that I know, just me personally, we pushed a lot more talk, Islamic talk in the house while we're eating.
In the house, I love that.
Like we try to discuss different things. We watch those videos. I don't know if you saw the videos of the 30 days of Ramadan.
Yes, yeah.
On YouTube, and we would watch those.
Actually, I was in Saudi Arabia for Umrah.
Yeah,
but my wife, she knew that.
Yeah, you had a good Ramadan.
Excellent Ramadan. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
But like that's something that I pushed a lot. Just me and my wife, my family, just to have like that discussion of Islamic talk while you're together.
Yes.
Because you don't have
Perfect.
you don't have all those people. You don't have your brothers, your sister, your nephews, your nieces, all those people together. You don't have them all the time like you do
Yeah.
during Ramadan. So
Yep.
you want to push a little bit of more talking of an Islamic lessons and stuff like that during that month. One thing I will say, and that I did notice very much so, and I hope that you guys noticed out there in your worlds or in your towns and your cities, was this city that we're living in, this area that we're living in, has been more pro-Muslim, more accepting of Islam, of Muslims,
Oh yeah.
throughout all the different cities of our county. We probably do every year. I do iftar dinners with the police department. Right, I bring the police department to different masjids, and I let them, hang out, see what's going on, ask the questions. We do open houses, and they eat. They eat with the people. They eat with the Muslims. And normally one masjids, two masjids, maybe three every year I've done. This year we did about 6. Not masajid.
Oh.
2 masajid, and the rest were the cities.
Cities, yes.
The cities, the mayors, the commissioners, these guys, they're like, bring the Muslims here. We want to talk. We want to meet them. We want to see what they do. And it was very interesting to see how
It's very nice.
the city officials were just welcoming. Okay, we want you to use this space. We want to address you guys. We want to talk to you guys. We want to see your concerns. We want to hear from you guys. They're starting to realize that Muslims aren't just, your regular people. They're doctors, they're lawyers, they're owners, they're businessmen, businesswomen. There's so many different aspects and avenues of what Islam is. And I think what really kind of pushed this mood forward is what's going on overseas.
But hold on, Brother Mohammed, something important. That's in Florida. What about in the Sunnahfollowers? For granted, many cities, many states.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
They can do that?
Well, of course. And we talked about this beforehand.
Yeah.
I told them, reach out to your commissioners, reach out to your mayors.
I mean, they can.
They can. All the people in the masjids, and I think also what you have to do is pick the right people or pick the right person to go talk to those officials. Right? Don't just send random people and a person who's not really personable. Right? You have to have a good personality, somebody respectful, somebody who's gonna know how to talk to these officials, these people.
Eloquent,
right? And I think that that's something that's really every community should have.
Every community should have in touch with the police department and do something. Not in Ramadan, actually.
Every day.
12 months.
Yeah, you have to. We have you have open houses. You have picnics with your congregation.
Yeah.
If you have a masjid and you have a congregation and you have 100 people come to your masjid, invite the commissioners, invite the city officials, invite these people to see what you're doing, to see, because what I've noticed is it opens up a door to conversation. And I'll give you an example. We had a iftar dinner in one of the cities that I've never thought we would have, and I don't want to mention anything just in case people are watching. And it was very interesting to see that the other law enforcement agency that came to provide security and to kind of just make sure that everything was good. I know these guys. I've worked with these guys for years. Were asking me questions. They started to ask questions, and the guy who said, "Hey, Mohammed, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I have a question. Why do you guys pray? Why do you guys pray with your head to the floor?"
Oh, nice.
And these questions start to open up other questions. Oh, wait, so you guys do believe in Jesus?
We love Jesus.
Yeah,
and his mom.
And exactly. So, and I said, well, that's why our women dress the way they dress. They dress like Jesus' mom. We give them like little things. And they said, oh, okay, so you guys aren't angry people. No, we're not. What do you.
I love that.
And so it opens up the conversation to these people that never will. And this guy, he's been in, I think he said he's been in the force for 30-something years.
Oh my God.
He's never
heard about Islam.
No, he's heard, he's seen, he said,
but not people, Muslims.
And I've worked with him for myself for 3 years. He's never asked me a question about Islam.
It's opportunity, brothers. Also, don't be afraid, especially with a Trump era. We have to open your heart, speak publicly. First, be intelligent.
You have to be intelligent, and you have to be honest, right? Because we have really nothing to hide.
No.
We have nothing to hide. And it's funny because we opened up our doors, the masjid doors, so much more than any other faith. Our masjid doors are always open up to everybody and anybody to come in and check and talk and ask questions. And we have books all over the masjids. And when you see these people on top who are being told from the other people on top, these people are scary, these people are terrorists, these people are, we on the bottom, us people on the bottom, we have to show those people, no, we're not. Come in, see what we're doing.
Take opportunity.
Take the opportunity. Let's talk about Islam. Let's talk about our religion. Let me show you why, and let me explain to you why. And these are the questions that. What's amazing to me is some of the questions that I was asked during this month of Ramadan is that, like, well, why do they push this negative agenda on Islam? Why do they put it so negative out there?
Yes.
And then you start to have that conversation. Well, think about it, man. If you convert to Islam, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You're not going to drink anymore. So now the beer companies and all those guys will lose money. You know, there's you're going to start to think differently. You're going to start thinking clearly.
Nice. Yeah.
And so, oh man, that makes sense. You know, well, brother, what's the question they ask you when you go to the doctor? Do you drink or do you smoke? They know it's bad for you, but they still sell it to you. And they know they sell it to you because they know that it's going to make you sick, because then you're going to go to the doctor and they're making money. So like it becomes a whole conversation. But you open up their heads and you open up their minds and you open up their hearts to let them, well, can I get a Quran? Yeah, brother, here, take a Quran. And if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to call me, or I'll send you to the imams at the different mosques. That's how you develop and that's how your communities develop a better relationship with the leaders out there. Right.
But in the board, it's also impossible to find the board, all of them corrupted board. There's some certain good people. Go and speak to the right, one you like.
Yeah.
One simple person. At the same time, at least he's an intelligent person. Speak with him. Of course, Allah said, وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي أَحْسَنُ. Allah said, speak to the people with the gentle and nice and soft way.
Absolutely.
And our example, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah. You know, so Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam come to far argue with Rasulullah. What's he doing? He just smile. Okay. And then can I speak? Why? Because they smoke everything.
Yes.
So take opportunity, speak to the board, speak to the people in charge. And we want to do 1, 2, 3, 4 in a nice way and moderate.
It's in steps.
Steps.
Right?
Yeah,
Everything is step by step. And we know, like you said, you know, we have a lot of people on boards that probably should not be on boards, right? I mean, we you know, I scratch my head when I say that, but we know that there's some people that should not be talking to commissioners, mayors, all these people, that they don't have that that softness. Right? They don't have that stuff. They're very rough individuals.
In fact, with all my respect, whoever watch us here, I know some people might watch us in as far as the election for president or vice president, there's. Let me shut my mouth.
Yeah, it's safer. It's a little safer. It's a little safer. We don't want to cause no trauma.
Yeah. Okay.
And so when we had like the Eid parties, right? We know people have Eid picnics and Eid that. I said, you know, hey, let's, you know, I told the guys on my teams and the agencies, can you guys come and just kind of just hang out and see, you know, what's going on? And so I started inviting more people. You don't have to wait for Ramadan to invite these people to come through, right? Because they can come anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And I explained to them, the mosque is open 5 times a day. Like you can go over there. There's always somebody at the masjids. You know, there's always somebody going to be there. There's always going to be somebody to answer questions. You know, inshallah, we have the right people there.
Yeah.
When those guys come.
Yeah.
Because they've, you know, even when I did the back to school event, I did a back to school event last year, and I had all these non-Muslims coming into the mosque to get free stuff, free school supplies, free, you know, book bags, food, you know, so all this kind of stuff. And these were non-Muslims going through the masjid, and they were, you know, asking, looking, watching, and you know, the Muslims were talking to them. Yeah, we come here every Friday night. We have family night, but isn't it just for the Muslims? No. Anybody can come. You're more than welcome. We have food. And then so these people are, I can come. I thought it was just for you people only, right? Because that's what the mindset is. The people don't realize that we are very open and welcoming.
Yes.
And we have to be the people, the vessels that tell them come on in. Come on into the mosque. Let me show you what the girls do. Let me show you what the guys do. Let me explain to you why the girls are separate and the guys are separate. Because that question comes up
Yes.
a whole lot. Especially when I was with the city guys. Those city guys were like, well, why are the girls praying behind you? Is that something that you guys do to oppress them? You oppress the woman to make them pray? Then you gotta explain in a gentle form, in a gentle way, with a smile on your face. No. Let me explain to you. And they want to listen.
Yes.
And just like this, like you said, you let them talk.
It's
You let them ask, and then you say, okay, now is that it? Are you finished?
Mhm.
Let me explain to you.
And it's very important here. When I was in South Carolina, you have Syrian refugees.
Mhm.
Of course, who in charge? The church.
Mm,
The church every Friday Jum'ah, they bring the Syrian to the masjid. And when they come to the masjid, the people hold the Syrian and couple actually from the church,
Mhm.
go to the masjid. And of course, they sit for Salat al-Jum'ah, and we will have give food, free food, and we welcome the people.
yeah, of course.
Food. And believe it or not, few months, just those two couples came, husband and wife actually, on a chair. They just watching us, and when they come, welcome them, and we know they are not Muslim.
Yeah.
And actually, intention, I tell the people when they come, welcome them and give food for them and sweet and this and that, and speak with them that not we know not Muslim. That actually they are in the church with the priest.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, 3 months they become Muslims.
Yeah.
Why? The relationship between us, the
Yeah.
Muslims, God.
Yeah. And that's what one of the female people I was with, they said, Mohammed, I just felt like this is like a family. Like you guys are just one people. Like she's just watching you guys all pray the same way, watching you guys all move the same way, stay the same thing. I'm like, well, yeah, that's how.
And also, everyone masjid, we hug each other.
Yeah,
Hug
and she
sister,
said,
sister.
yeah. She see this.
Or brother, and sister.
Yeah, brother and brother, sister and sister. But they've seen this, they felt it, and they say, man, I've never felt so much more welcoming than I did.
Yes.
And that's what you want to develop, right?
Especially in Ramadan.
Especially during Ramadan.
But we are in Shawwal. Today, 10th of Shawwal.
But you know what? There's still things going on. Even now, I think in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, there's a faith-based picnic, right? Open to all the different faiths, and bring the rabbis, bring the priests, bring the imams, and I think and not just us as a Muslim community, but I think in general, people in general forget that there's other types of religions out there that you should go and grab all those people and bring them in. Exactly.
Dawah.
You're not telling them that, but you're bringing them in to say, let's have a conversation.
Let's see how to act.
Because they're seeing something on TV. They're seeing stuff on the internet that we're mean, that we're aggressive, that we hate America, we hate people. It's all lies.
In fact, in the mall, a guy came to us and he said, you are the best people. We heard about you so much from the church. But what happened after we were going on Gaza, those people, they wake up. They came, apologize.
Yeah.
We are thinking about you, so and so.
A lot of people have been waking up.
Everybody here, listen to us. You're going to change. Ramadan changed us a lot.
Yeah.
Still, Shawwal, so a lot of people fasting. We can change ourselves to change the community around us.
And think about it like this. And I want everybody to kind of look. If you were watching whatever you were watching before Ramadan, let's say you're scrolling through TikTok or you're scrolling through YouTube, you're scrolling through all this social media. If you're watching certain things and then Ramadan came and then you started watching Islamic things because you said to yourself, one thing I'm going to change is I'm going to change what I'm watching. I'm going to change what I'm seeing on Instagram. I'm going to change. You'll start to see within like a week or two of you watching Islamic stuff on your feed. You start scrolling. Everything's going to be Islamic. What is your feed now after 2 weeks? Wait. What is your feed? Did you go back to watching the stuff that you're watching, or is it still Islamic? Right? Because a lot of people, it depends. People don't realize that your feed changes according to the algorithm of what you're watching.
Yes.
Right.
The phone.
Right, because the phone is watching you watch.
Yeah.
Right. There's a camera in here, guys, that watches you watch. Watches your eyes.
That's scary.
So it's watching to see how long your eyeballs are watching that screen. If it's interesting, it's going to keep giving you the same thing over and over and over again. That's why a lot of our feeds are maybe pro, pro Gaza, pro Palestine, pro this, pro that, because that's what we're watching, we're staying. During Ramadan, I know a lot of people, they switched over from, I'm not going to listen to any music, I'm going to try to get my focus on, I'm going to try to listen to more Quran. And so their feeds changed.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my God.
After 2 weeks, they're like, oh my
right.
God, everything is this, everything is that now. Because you started watching something different. You saw something haram, whoop, you scrolled real quick. You saw something that you wanted to watch, Islamic, and you stayed on there for 5 seconds or 5 minutes. It's going to keep giving you Islamic stuff.
You're right. Yeah.
So I want everyone to ask yourselves that question. What is your feed now compared to what it was during Ramadan? Because I know nobody put their phones down. Maybe not, maybe 1 or 2 people, but the majority of the people kept scrolling, kept going on social media. But were you stopping yourself from watching the haram and sticking to the halal during that 1 month? Because if you did, and you stuck with it, your feed should still be the same.
I mean, we can.
Yeah,
we are not disabled.
No,
you can change yourself.
Anybody can change. I mean, and I tell the kids, and it's funny because all these different dinners and iftar dinners that we go to, the kids that I see in the schools, they see me out there in the community, and they start talking. Oh, brother Muhammad, I started doing this. Or brother Muhammad, I put my phone down. Oh, brother Muhammad, they start telling me, because I tell them beforehand, like the same stuff we talk about here, I talk to the kids about.
Allah عز وجل يقول إن الله لا يغير بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. That Allah will never change a nation until the people change their habits, what they're doing.
Yeah,
we have to change to be better.
Yeah, and we keep saying that Ramadan is a springboard.
Yeah,
right, where you started from, right? And so when I talk to these kids during the Eid dinners and Ramadan dinners and everything, okay, did you really change? I tell the kids, the 8th graders, the 7th graders, did you change and I tell them the same thing as your feed. Let me see your feed. Let me see your TikTok For You page. And then show, hey, look, see, it's all, it's little Yaqeen Institutes, it's little Sheikh stuff and little clips of this. And I'm like, oh, okay, mashallah, good. Like, this is good. Now keep it. Right? So, now keep it like this. Don't change when Ramadan is over. Don't be like your dad. Don't be like your mom who changes. Because they tell me these little things about their parents. And I say, don't be like your mom. Teach your mom or teach your dad how to keep the same way that you are during Ramadan.
Yeah.
And then it's amazing because these kids listen, right? They you don't think they listen. When I'm in the class with them, they're not paying attention, or their questions that they're asking are weird. But they listen, and they said, one of the girls said, oh, I told my dad that we should watch the series about what's going to happen during Ramadan, the Yaqeen series, from Brother Umar Salman, and my dad said, okay, let's watch that. And now we got the whole family watching. And so the kids hear you.
Yes.
They listen to you. And, even though you don't think they're listening to you, they are. And they take it home with them. And they say these things to their parents, and their parents feel like they're, oh my gosh, my kid is telling me to be a better Muslim. How bad is that when you have a kid that has to tell you, let's be a better Muslim?
With all my respect with this, whatever was going on in a household, husband and wife problems, there's a problem with the kids.
Yes, absolutely.
And disrespect between husband and wife.
Yes.
The kids have no respect.
Oh, that was
so the kids absorb magnetic, whatever going on between husband and wife, the parents come to the kids.
And glad you said that, because even at the masjid the other day, one of the brothers was telling me this 4-year-old girl came to him, a Muslim girl, said something really bad, like said a bad word or something. And the mom was like surprised that this girl, and the brother goes, well, she's 4 years old. She learned it from somewhere.
Definitely.
Right? Where's a 4-year-old girl learn to talk like this? Because people think that, and I think we all have to understand that this stuff is learned behavior. You're taught these. Our kids are taught. We can teach our kids to be racist. We can teach our kids to be mean. We can teach our kids to be aggressive, or we can teach our kids to be good Muslims. Where do you want to teach your kids? And it's all, the majority of their learning process is observation. They're watching the mom. They're watching the dad. They're listening to how you are interacting with each other. Are you guys laughing with each other? Are you guys arguing with each other? Are you making that person cry? Are you hitting that person? Or are you being loving and understanding? Are you following the rules of Islam?
But also, Brother Muhammad, something important. The majority of the parents, their kids in the public school. And sometimes the kids absorb F word and many,
Yeah, of course.
this kind of words.
But a 4-year-old doesn't absorb that from a public school. A 4-year-old girl won't absorb that from a public school. If you have kids in a public school, and that's, I think.
But when the kid, for example, husband and wife, perfect, never did this. But the kid carry that statement to the parents. How for the parents to fix the mentality of the kid?
This is where you come into play with confidence and building self-esteem with a kid. Right? Because a lot of kids now they want to be followers, not leaders. And I do a whole thing about leadership with the kids, and discuss how to become a good leader, how to understand, what it is to be a man, especially with our men, because our guys, our Muslim men, I think sometimes they forget what it means to be a Muslim, right? We forget that being a Muslim is leadership.
Yeah.
Right. It's a leadership quality of Islam. If you look at Islam in a whole dynamic, not just the Quran, but the Quran, the Hadith, the Sunnah, it all leads to leadership qualities.
Yes, of course.
Right? So when you look at leadership classes that they offer at the colleges, and you read the stuff that they're talking about, it's Muslim.
Absolutely. I agree.
It's Muslim. And they won't say that in the schools, but when you really dive down deep into leadership qualities, Islam is a leadership religion. It's why they fear us so much, why the people on top don't want Islam to take over, because they're really afraid that if the world in as a whole becomes Muslim, they're going to lose their grip on the kids. They're going to lose their grip on the money. They're going to lose their grip on control, right? And so when you're a Muslim, they can't really control you. They can't force you to drink alcohol. They can't force you to watch the haram. They can't force you to curse and talk dirty languages. They can't force that upon you.
Step by step by step.
That they little by little, they get you to do it.
Yes.
Right. So imagine what they did in all these other countries, these Muslim countries. They slowly integrated the Western mindset. Right. Let's put this on the TV. Let's put these shows on these Muslim TVs so they can see the girls dressing like this instead of wearing hijabs. And so the girls that they grow up and they watch their mom watching these shows, the little girls are waking up and saying, "Oh, my mom's watching this girl who's in a show and she's so pretty and she has no clothes on." So it's slowly, but as a mom, you're thinking, "Oh, it's okay. I know that we're Muslims, so it's okay. I don't have to dress like this." But you have a 3-year-old girl being raised for 10 years of you watching this stuff. So by the time they're 13,
the reason probably is the parents.
It's the parents not understanding that there's an impact to everything we do in the house.
Exactly.
Right? The way we walk, the way we talk, what we have on TV, what we have on our phones. It's all a big round, like it's like a big circle for our children. And so when you have a kid who goes to a public school and you think that you're doing everything right in your house, you have to understand they're going to be in 8 hours they have in school. Alone with everybody who's not doing the same things that we're doing.
Yes.
Which means when they come home, you have a bigger task at hand than somebody who's being homeschooled.
Should be, because the kids have maybe 2-3 hours, 2-3 hours maximum with the parent, and they after
go to
that
bed.
Yes, exactly.
So
I mean, they stay out in the school more than stay in the house.
Yes.
And the rest they're asleep.
Yes. So that's when you say to yourself, okay, as a parent, I have 2 or 3 hours with my kid. How am I going to impact? What am I going to do? How am I going to, talk to my kid about what happened in school, right? Because I know we had to talk about, how to talk to your kid, open-ended questions. Don't ask them how was school, because they're going to say good. School is good.
Yeah, all the kids.
All the kids. Do you have any homework? No. Like they just one word answers, and they want to move on. You ask open-ended questions. So let's see. What did you guys do in school today? What did you do in math? What did you do in reading? What did you do in science? What did you do in PE? What happened in the cafeteria today? Tell me what happened, because the cafeteria is the biggest place where they intermingle and they talk, and that's where they absorb most of their knowledge from, is in the cafeteria, because they're having fun.
But most likely the mother asked this question, not the father, right?
But the father has to get involved. The father really has to be.
But if the father at home, divorced woman, for example, take care of the kids. Divorced or widow, something. May Allah give rahmah for all. But if the wife or the mother the only charge in the house. There is no husband. What to do?
Then unfortunately, what I've seen work, and then there's no like scientific evidence, but what I've just seen working with so many different families and single moms, because there's a lot of single mothers out there, and I'm not just talking about Muslim single mothers. I'm talking about non-Muslim single parents. Is that I noticed that when the woman has a little bit more of a masculinity tone, a little bit more of like kind of like being more of a leadership role in that household, and having that feminine aspect as well, it works. Like you as a woman, you have to kind of be a little bit more understanding that. Okay,
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's very hard
It's
because
not easy.
moms, we want to cuddle our kids.
Yes.
Moms want to cuddle. They want to, cuddle. They want to hug. They want to. But at the end of the day, like you also have to get a little aggressive, be a little assertive.
The example in our house, my wife, she took care of our only son, and inshallah, doing an excellent job. I mean, all the mom, they can, the mom, regardless of husband or no husband, divorced, she can make her son perfect.
Yeah, you can make or break your son easily.
Yes, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
It started from, and regardless what age.
You want to start it when they're young, right? You want to get them when they're young, because you don't want to have, by the time they get 13, 14, 15 years old, they're going to start to think that what they're seeing in school is normal.
Definitely. The moment the kids mature, when they have maturity, the psychology of their life it changed completely.
Yeah.
So the parents have to take care of the child from A to Z. And I mentioned before, that I mentioned again, we speak to the people according to Ali, Ali, according to their mentality.
Yes, absolutely.
Come to their level of thinking to discuss their own problem. And every child have a problem. Sometimes we have to be sharing the problem to be solved.
And I also notice that a lot of kids, when I go to these schools, the younger kids, they have anxiety, depression.
Yeah.
I said, you're 6th grade. How are you having anxiety? You're in 4th grade. What do you know about anxiety? What do you know about depression? You're 4. You're in 4th grade. You should not be thinking about this kind of stuff. You shouldn't be. But then I start to see when I meet the parents, and I shake their father's hand, and I introduce myself to the mom, and I see we have a meeting. Okay, now I see why the kid is the way the kid is. Why this 4th grader who's in 4th grade is saying I have anxiety. I'm having an anxiety attack. Well, you shouldn't be thinking like this. But because of what the mom and dad's dynamic in the house is, the kid's feeding off of that. They feed off of that energy.
You just mentioned something very, very important, brother. Actually, this research about depression. Research. I was reading this research to share this with you, to share it with also online. Please give me attention here. Very, very important. A lot of kids, even adults. I mean, regardless what age, from babies to 100 years old, they're taking medicine for depression. I believe actually on this research, I'm reading this research, subhanAllah, I'm here. Okay. How many pages is this? 12 pages. But the reason this research about depression, I think all this medicine in that research doesn't make anything, increase the anxiety and depression.
Well, it increases your reliance on the medication.
Exactly.
And that's what they want.
Exactly.
That's what they want.
So, number one, it's very important for everybody watching us in this medicine, the depression medicine, I mean, vape and this and that. Do you think that depression medicine helping the person?
So here's my because I'm not a doctor. Let me just kind of put that straight up. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
We're not doctors. We can't say what's going to work and what's not going to work. What I've seen in the field, right? When you work with so many people, I have 23 years now working with people and working in the mental health field. I am a certified guidance counselor, K through 12 certified guidance counselor. And I've been working in the field for such a long time with parents, with kids, with adults, adolescents, teenagers, you name it. I've worked with these people, and I've noticed some people may need medications. Don't get me wrong. Maybe their chemical imbalance is wrong. Maybe they're missing some type of chemicals. So maybe they might need some type of medication. But I've also noticed a lot of the people who wean themselves off of the meds, who talk to their doctors, of course. I always tell people, talk to your doctor. Tell your doctor what you're thinking, what you're feeling. You don't want to take the pills anymore. They'll get you off this little by little. And then you have to find a way to compensate for that. We're not supposed to be happy all the time, right? That's what they want to, the agenda that they're pushing. If you're not happy every single day, this pill will make you happy every single day. Well, you're not supposed to be happy every single day. We're supposed to have our ups and downs, ups and downs. If you have more downs than ups, then there's a problem. Maybe it's not a problem with your depression, or maybe it's not a problem with the chemical imbalance. Maybe it's a problem with you, what you're doing wrong, right? Because there's a saying, right? The definition of insanity: doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, and you're not seeing anything, and you're still depressed, you're still angry, you're still having anxiety, then change something, right?
In yourself.
In yourself. Like you notice that, you know, I'm working a dead-end job, or I'm working a job that I'm miserable at, but I need the money, so I have to work. Okay.
But some people have no job.
And some people have no job.
So
So,
their own job is searching.
and there's also start something. Come up with an idea. Open up your. It's not just 9 to 5, and that's something I've been pushing a lot with our youth. Is it's not a 9 to 5 job anymore. Like, don't think I have to get a job. I have to get a paycheck. Think outside of that. Right. And
But no,
so I tell the kids, come up with an idea. Look at what the world around us.
give us an idea, Brother Mohammed.
So
Very
think about,
important. I want to know myself.
so think about Uber. When Uber started,
Hmm?
somebody said, "Why do we keep taking the yellow cab? The yellow cab is so inefficient. It's so inefficient. It's so annoying. Why don't I just develop an app to make it accessible for more people? So all you got to do." And somebody came up with an idea,
International become
and it became international.
international.
So there's ways of coming up with different things and seeing the world around us and saying, how can I make people's lives easier? Or what's the most needed thing in my community? Right. And I tell the kids, you know, all the time, I said, you know, become a master at 1 or 2 things, but become very good at a lot of things. So 1 or 2 things, be very good, be the best. And at other things, become very good at it. So that way you can be a very well-rounded person. So if something happens to your job, and we saw what happened in COVID. What happened during COVID when everybody lost their job? So many people lost their job.
Yes, a lot. Yeah.
Right. And even the people I was working with, the criminals, at that time I was working in the other field. Mohammed, I lost my job. What am I going to do? Okay, let's start thinking. Let's start thinking outside the box. What are you good at? I don't know, man. I'm a fixer. I like to fix things. Okay, so now let's become a handyman. Right? Let's start becoming a handyman. Let's look up YouTube videos and how to fix things.
And everything on
Right?
you.
And everything's on YouTube. And the guy who was making $95,000 at that time during COVID, he was making $95,000 a year as a chef at one of the restaurants over there. Got lost his job during COVID. Nobody was coming to eat.
Yeah.
So they had to fire him. Then he said, Mohammed, I need a job. If I don't get a job, I'm going to lose my everything. I was making $95,000 a year. He became a handyman. Within 6 months' time, he figured out how to call other handymen. Hey, how much do you charge for installing a garbage disposal for somebody? And the company would say, oh, I would charge $95. And he would call, and the lady would call him, I will charge you $75.
The business. Yeah.
And so he would go and he would collect little jobs here and there. And in 6 months' time, he got business cards, he got himself licensed, he became
Not chef anymore.
not a chef. And now that was in COVID. When was COVID? 2021, I believe.
Yeah.
He became, now he's like, Mohammed, I'm good. I've never been happier,
Mhm.
he tells me.
So at least you can change.
And this is an old guy. This is the guy who I think he was in his 50s.
Mhm.
So he look how
50
old
old.
for me. It is. No, I mean, I'm getting there too. But you instill that mindset in the kid at a young age.
Yeah.
Right, because we're taught, like even us, like at my age, my family, my brothers, we're all told you got to get a 9 to 5. You have to work. You have to get a paycheck. We're not told, go open up your own business, go start something for yourself, go do something for yourself. We're not told that being raised here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, we're always told you have to become a doctor, you have to become a lawyer, you have to become an engineer.
Oh, that big mistake.
And you know what? If your brain is capable of that, go for it.
Yeah, but you know, this is a very important point, brother and sister here. A lot of we grow up actually. I believe as a Muslims normally Muslim, we want my son to be something.
Mhm.
My son, doctor, engineer, this, the top shot. But the key, if that child love that job or not. For example, I mean, when I finished high school in Gaza, may Allah give peace to people in Gaza,
Sure.
and I want to be a geologist. My father said, no, medical school.
Yeah.
Because my high school was high.
Yeah.
My high school. Al-Azhar University. I know I don't want to be. I want to be a geologist. Anyway, because he said doctor or sheikh. I wish actually to be sheikh from the beginning. Anyway, I went first 1 year medical school.
Mm.
Brother Mohammed, I was so afraid of the dead people. Especially the Azhar school, medical school is very, very bad.
Mm.
Then I choose geology. And then I choose to be a sheikh. Yeah. My point, we cannot force the parents, we cannot force your kids to do something and they don't like.
And the thing is, we don't tell our kids to be doctors because we want you to help people or we want you to heal people. We tell the kids, I want you to be a doctor because when I want to get you married, I can say that my son's a doctor.
Yeah.
That's the mindset I see of a lot of these parents is I want to be able to tell my friends and my family that my son's an engineer.
But also another idea, if you baby your child, your son or daughter, a child,
Mhm.
you can start to speak to the son or daughter, oh, a doctor. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, doctor. Put this instead of a seed in his mind. You are engineer. You're doing this. You are a computer. Then he will grow up this kind of mentality.
Oh yeah.
But it starts from now, not when you finish high school.
No. You start it now. You know, for gifts, and you want to give them gifts for Eid. Give them a stethoscope. Give them a microscope.
Yes.
Give them stuff that's gonna be like, oh, this is, you know, and then watch your kid. Does he like the stethoscope? Does he like the microscope? Does he like building things with the Legos? What's that kid? You know, where's that kid going?
Yeah.
Right. With the toys that you're giving him, the toys, but you're giving him tools.
And Allah is a provider. So try, do your best. And Ramadan will change. We are now in Shawwal. Shawwal still with this. We are fasting. Still, you can change to best, especially if you I mentioned that in the beginning. With the family, family, keep your family safe when you are communicate, speak, and in very gentle, nice way, not tough. Right?
Your conversation with your family members, the conversation with your kids, the conversation with the people around you, it has to be stemmed around positivity.
Yes.
Right. We always want to point out the bad of everybody. This person's bad. You did this. This is wrong. This is wrong. You can't do it like this. What are we giving them the option? Okay, instead of doing it this way, instead of doing A, B, and C, and you got this, look at the outcome of what happened.
Be positive.
Yeah, it was wrong. So let's figure out how now we can change what you did, and let's do C, D, and E because that will become. Yes. Now look at the outcome. Look what happened now, and so you kind of explain to the kids, this is where we can kind of like at that age group. Depends on the age group it depends on the age of your kid. This is where you have like those conversations in a positive light.
Yes.
Right. And instead of, because I see it all the time, the parents, and it's always negative.
Yeah.
I can't believe you. I can't believe you did this and you did that. And okay, stop.
Be optimistic.
Our kids nobody's perfect.
No.
Right. No, nobody's perfect. And the guy, the people that we're talking to, that came to the iftar dinners, the other cops that are around, they were like, okay, well, but you guys, I still see some bad stuff that some Muslims do, some bad things. And I always have to explain to them, nobody's perfect. Islam is perfect. I tell them that all the time. Yeah, I tell them all the time. I tell these guys, if you read the Quran is perfect. If you read the Hadith and the Sunnahs, I said, but us, we're not.
We're human beings. But Prophet Muhammad, every human being make mistakes.
Everybody, and that's one thing I told these guys, these other non-Muslim cops, was that you have to remember that no humans are perfect. And I told them, you're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. We all mess up. I told them I mess up. We're not perfect. I said, but we strive.
We'll do best.
We do as best as we can.
The key, if I make mistake, I have to fix it, not to forget.
And that's the question. This is the thing that I keep trying to tell people: bring people into the masjids, bring people to the things, because they ask questions. So how do you know that person over there isn't, faking it. And I said, well, that's not me to judge.
Allah knows this.
Allah knows, and I told him, God knows what's in his heart.
Exactly.
Right. So we can lie to each other. We can lie to our children. We can lie to our spouses. We can lie to our congregation. If you're an imam and you're lying to your congregation, if you're this big imam and you're acting like an imam, but then behind closed doors you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Allah knows.
Allah knows.
And that's how I was explaining to him. Like for us in our religion, we're not allowed to judge people. So I don't know if that person is doing something bad on the other side when they're not fasting or when they're not around me. I pray that he's not doing anything wrong. I wish for him the best, because that's what we have to do as Muslims. But at the end of the day, I told him God is the one who knows what your intention is.
Exactly. Allah knows what the intention.
Allah knows the intention. And when I explained it, one of the guys, I never met this guy before. He was asking me about the how to convert, and he's like, "Well, the conversion process." And I said, "Well, it's not a really process. It's say the shahada,
statement and act."
And they asked these questions. Well, I can't do, I can't give up pork like that, and I can't just all of a sudden stop this. And I said, listen. Islam is the religion of step by step.
Step by step.
And
I agree.
the first step is to understand that there's only one God, right? And the Prophet is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the last.
Yeah.
And he said, well, yeah, I really do think that the Prophet is the Muhammad is the Prophet, and so these questions start to come up, right? These questions start to come, and they start to think, and they start to see, and that's why I like to bring people to the masjid, because there's books everywhere, right around the walls, and they start to see different things, and they see Jesus in Islam. They start to see the science of Islam. And so they start to see these things, and they start to really get curious about this religion. And then they see you on the ground with your head to the floor praying, and they see the peace, they see the calm, they see how the masjid's quiet. They see how everybody's going down.
Especially Dhuhr and Asr. Yeah, exactly. So, brother, the key, we can change, be best of the best.
Yeah, and how do you expect the people outside, the commissioners, the mayors, the board members, the people that are non-Muslims, how do you expect them to change about you, how their mindsets change about us, if you're not showing them what real Islam is all about?
Yes.
And the one biggest thing I tell the people is our kids are going to be the ones showing them what Islam is all about, because they're the ones going to be out and about.
Yes, I agree with you.
We're at home.
Actually, a lot of youth and young in colleges, actually in school also, they do, for minority, a small number, they make da'wah and da'wah. Yeah.
A small minority of them, and I see some of their videos that they post, and I really wish that they wouldn't. If you're going to do da'wah, if you're a kid, teenager, 20s, and if you're going to do da'wah, please don't debate, don't have those aggressive tones. Don't make people try to feel stupid. Don't do those.
Yeah.
Those aggressive da'wah guys that I see sometimes. Don't be that person.
Oh, by the way, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he speaks to the people, his voice low.
Yeah.
What is the reason? To give the one he is listening, to give complete attention to him.
Because you have to go like this. You have to get in.
That's why very low and soft and step by step. For that person to complete attention.
Yes, absolutely.
In the Quran too, like for example, Surah Al-Baqarah, Alif Lam Mim, and number 1, ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين, number 2, and so on. So why number to give pause, to think about what you are reading, and you read again. That's what's supposed to be. Our Islam is so beautiful,
alhamdulillah.
But we have to make the Islam is more beautiful, inshallah.
And I was watching this video of one of the Christian preachers. He was talking about how the younger generation, I think he was talking more like the 20, 25-year-old, 30-year-olds, how they're more practicing the deen than their parents were. He was kind of explaining to the moderator. He's like, the problem that we're having, it's not a problem, but he's like, the Muslims now, the generation now, the younger generation, the 20s and the 35s, that generation of kids right now are more Muslim than their parents were when they came to this country.
Correct. Yes.
And so the moderator was like, well, is that a bad thing? He's like, well, if you consider no murder, no killing, no drinking alcohol, no drunk driving, if you think that's a bad thing, then yeah, it's a bad thing. He made it into a joke. Like they're not drinking, they're not partying, they're not drunk driving, they're not killing anybody. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
But we are حديث الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم قال بدأ الإسلام غريبا وسيعود كما بدأ غريبا فطوبى للغرباء. He said Islam came in Medina, in Mecca, strange. Then again, it will come strange again, this time.
And then that's what
But in the key, he said, Tuba, glad tidings for the strangers. So to be a stranger, don't feel shy. We are the best to be a stranger. We are best of the best to be a stranger. Plus, what the Tuba is great place under the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah gather all of us in that. So, brother, yes, we can change. But to us, brother Mohammed, also, and now with kids, yes, but also what about the parents, what to do? Ramadan finished.
Yeah, Ramadan finished. And listen, even for me, like I've had to like kind of catch myself on certain things that I was doing back then, but I wasn't doing now. And let me get back to let me stay with what I was doing, because your work stays the same, your life stays the same. You're going back and forth to the same spots. You're still doing the same thing, and you're still being around the same people that you were when you were during Ramadan. During Ramadan, oh, Muhammad, let's go out to lunch. No, I'm fasting. I can't go out to lunch. And now, oh, Muhammad's not fasting. Come on, let's go out to lunch. So you start to see the things coming back, right? Everything's starting to come back. And as an adult, it's hard. It's so hard to change and to keep with that change. Very, very hard. It's very like stressful.
But the key, we can.
You can, and
this is the key.
You just have to really know where you're going and what you're doing. Okay, was I doing this during Ramadan? No, then why am I doing it now? Well, if I'm not going to do it during Ramadan, I shouldn't be doing it when it's not Ramadan.
Yes.
Right. So you tell the kids the same thing. This is exactly what I tell the kids. What are you going to start during Ramadan? And they all say the same thing. I'm going to read more Quran, or I'm going to make sure I wake up for Fajr. And then after,
a lot of you doing that.
And so I tell them, like, that's SubhanAllah, me. I woke up every day. This is the first year I woke up every single day for school.
Suhoor, yes.
And I woke up, and until now, my brain still is wired to wake up at 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning, and I see the date. Okay, I might as well eat a date. And
I wish I can do that. When dates bad for me.
That would be too much sugar for you.
Yeah, too much sugar. Yeah.
But so I tell the kids, like, if you stopped what you were doing, or you added something to your life during Ramadan, why stop doing what you added, and why go back to doing what you were doing if you stopped doing it after Ramadan? So you have to think, if I stop this during Ramadan, I think I should stop this for the rest of my life. If I added this during Ramadan, then maybe I should add this every day to my life. So even as grown-ups, as parents, as moms, dads, we have the ability to know what we're doing, whether it's right or wrong. We're not stupid. We're not dumb to what we're doing. We know what we're doing, right? We know what's haram, and we know what's halal. If we know that we're doing something haram, and we stop doing that haram during Ramadan, then maybe we should stop doing that haram for the rest, forever.
Yes.
Sunnahfollowers,
if you have a question, we have 5 minutes exactly to finish, inshallah.
Sure.
You have any question, Sister Anisa will give you the question, inshallah, the microphone. Please ask the question, inshallah. And now, brother, 5 minutes we need advice, to go back. You are in Shawwal, to go back to be Ramadaniyin. Ramadan, not Rabbani. We want to be Rabbaniyin, not Ramadaniyin. Rabbani, we are with Allah all the time, not only in Ramadan, 12 months every year. How to be that place to be Rabbani with the Rabb.
It's funny. Some of the Muslims were telling me, it's so hard in this country to stay as a good Muslim. It's so hard to be in a Western country to be a Muslim. And I tell them, you think it's easier in a Muslim country to be a Muslim?
Oh, no, it's not.
It's not. It's hard to be a Muslim in any country.
I agree.
Because every country makes haram look so good. Right? It's so fun to do haram, and it's so boring to be halal.
Yeah.
Right? And so we have to understand as adults, as parents, as kids, that our fun isn't here. Right? This life is not our life. We're not built for this world. Like we've talked about this before, where we say, Muslims not built for this world. We're not built for this. We're working towards the next.
Yep.
Right. So so we have to figure out what's more important right now, temporary, or over there forever. Like what's
that's there. You have to work hard here to be there.
And that's why I tell these kids and I tell the parents, the haram looks so fun because they know.
Yes.
The shaitan knows.
Yes.
That he doesn't want you going up there. So he's gonna make it fun. He's gonna make, oh, look at this. This is exciting. To be down.
Yep.
And so we as adults have to kind of instill that in our kids at a young age. Haram is always gonna look fun. Haram is always gonna look happy. People are gonna look at the commercials that they play on TV when it comes to like alcohol or I haven't watched TV.
Even social media, Facebook, this YouTube.
If you drink this beer, you're gonna have this pretty girls all over you. If you go to this place, if you wear this cologne, all the girls are gonna come after you. Like they advertise so much, like pleasure.
Yeah, most likely when YouTube, I go to Ziedeh channel for the news. Come ads and ads. Yeah.
And so they know how to play the mentality of humans. Right? Humans, we're all about being happy 24/7. We need to be happy all the time.
Inshallah. May Allah make us happy in the dunya and the akhirah.
Inshallah.
Any questions, Sister Anisa ask?
Alhamdulillah, I don't see any at the Zoom. Okay. Any questions, guys? Comments?
All right.
I'd like to just make a comment. When we're talking about children, you mentioned that young girl, 5 years old, who came out saying something, you wonder where it came from. Be careful where you take your children, who they're with, and don't let them spend the night anywhere. I'm talking about a family.
Yes.
You gotta watch where your children are, because where they go, they're gonna learn.
Yeah.
Everybody listen to Sister Anisa, a very important point.
Even for my own kids, I never let my kids go into anybody else's homes for sleepovers. Unless the mom was with them, we never, and even for me growing up, we never did that. We never really had sleepovers with anybody.
We have to be careful.
You have to be careful where your kids are going.
Not only that, if you send your child, you have to know who that. Before you send your child, what is the relationship between this child and the husband or wife? It's very important when you send your child, make sure the parents okay.
Even if you have, and this is kind of what she was talking about. Even if you have brothers and sisters, like I have brothers and sisters, know your family members, right? So if I have a kid who's 5, 6 years old, and I have a brother who, is a good Muslim kid, he's a Muslim guy, but he curses or he does bad things. I'm not gonna want, and I'll tell my brother, like, I don't want you with my daughter by yourself because you have a tendency to curse too much.
Yes, you have to be careful about cursing, brother. Curse, haram. So the Hajarat, last week I was discussing in our masjid. Cursing is haram. You have to be careful about your tongue. By the way, whatever you speak will never go back.
Yeah.
It's to angel writing every small things. Everything.
You have to be careful. And you have to be careful where your kids are going in front of, who your kids are going to be talking to, inshallah.
Our brother and sister, alhamdulillah, I'm brother Mohammed here. And we'd love to have him, inshallah, next week, bi'idhnillah, also Tuesday, because I will be, inshallah, Thursday in Nevada, in Sin City.
You're always traveling.
Every year traveling, but I'm coming back Monday, inshallah. I'm still alive, of course. But inshallah, we'll continue Tuesday at the same time, 8 o'clock. We'd love to see, actually, in our conversation, the parents, we want to see your kids. We want our kids to speak to Brother Muhammad. Opportunity. Me, myself, my son came from Texas here. I brought him to Brother Muhammad to sit with him. I can teach my son, but Brother Muhammad, a lot of things, your kids, especially the youth also, not everything in their hearts. Take opportunity, Brother Muhammad, here to bring their kids and speak. Do not feel shy.
Yeah, don't feel shy. I'm guide from kids, inshallah.
May Allah guide us and guide our kids, Ya Rabbi. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our kids best of the best, Ya Rabbi. And may Allah Azza wa Jalla protect our kids from the social media. Those are very dangerous, brother. We have to be careful and we have to watch. May Allah guide us to the right path, all of us. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. La ilaha.
I'm sorry, Brother Jamali. My daughter wanted to speak to
No problem.
brother.
My daughter, speak, my daughter.
Go ahead.
You're my daughter too.
So tell him what you want to do.
Mom, can I tell you tell him? I want to be a police officer like you.
Inshallah, come through and go to school, finish school,
Love that.
and then come here and we'll take care of you, inshallah.
Inshallah, I want to be a police officer.
Inshallah.
And after when I retire from being a police officer,
Retire.
I want to be a vet. I want to be a vet.
Okay, inshallah, sister, you can do whatever you want, mashallah. That's awesome. We need, and I always say this, we need good Muslim people in law enforcement. That's what we need, inshallah.
May Allah bless you. Ameen, ya Rabbi.
Ameen.
And any
Love it.
kids,
That's awesome.
we love to listen to the kids more than the parents. May Allah bless you all. Ameen, ya Rabbi. Ameen. All right, inshallah. Let's finish here, inshallah. Next week, ta'ala, if we're still alive, of course.
Inshallah.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك